Alright guys, so a little while back we checked out the Baseus MA10 true wireless earbuds, and it was just one of those pairs that offered like a lot for the money, but then I realized they also have a pair out that's called the MA10S. And even with the packaging you can see that they're really hard to tell apart, and with some of the features it's kind of the same thing. So we're going to talk about a comparison between both and who one might be for over the other. Let's go ahead and start with the price though, because the MA10, although it was an incredible budget pair, retailing at about $39, the MA10S comes in at $49 and has some additional features that the MA10 doesn't have. Now, they both have the exact same noise canceling on paper. While testing, I did find that the MA10S was just slightly better, it seemed, at blocking out people talking. But when it came to engine noises, AC units, anything that has like that lower tone, they both seem to block out about the same. They're both using Bluetooth 5.3. They both have the low latency gaming mode, so if you're going to use these for different types of media, both of these will be completely fine. They both have multi-point, so you can connect to more than one device at a time, and they both have the same battery life on the earbuds themselves. So you're getting 8 hours on a full charge, but there's definitely a huge difference when it comes to battery life involving the case. Now, if you remember when we talked about the MA10, those had 140 hours total using the case, where the MA10S only comes in with 38 hours total using the case. So there's a huge difference there, but there's also a huge difference in the size of the case. The MA10S has a much smaller case, but another difference is the MA10S has wireless charging on the case, where the MA10 didn't. So a lot of people who like to have wireless charging, I've kind of fallen into that category. The $10 difference there might be worth it alone, just to come in and drop it on any wireless charger and not have to worry about having a USB-C cable to plug it into. Now the MA10S also has a digital display underneath the lid, and this way you can kind of see exactly how much battery life is left in the case. And this is something that the MA10 does not have. Now, some other things about the battery that's similar is they both have the same fast charging feature, where a 10-minute charge will get you 2 hours of use. The IP rating is different on both of these, because on the MA10, we got IPX6, so that's some pretty good protection against water. At least better protection than what's on the MA10S, which only comes in at IPX4. And I kind of think this is why the noise canceling is better on the MA10S. It seems as though most noise canceling earbuds have that IPX4 rating, and with the IPX6, it's kind of covering up the microphones a little bit more on the MA10s, or at least that's my theory, because that's kind of been my experience with noise canceling earbuds in the past. So you are going to get better protection with the MA10s. Now, they both also use the Baseus app, which again will give you different EQ options. It will allow you to keep these updated. It does have a huge difference though when it comes to the MA10S, because the MA10S has spatial audio. Now, this is a feature that a lot of people like to use. I am, again, not the biggest fan of spatial audio when it comes to listening to music, but when it comes to listening to movies and TV shows and even gaming, spatial audio does have its advantages there. It gives you better awareness of things that's going on around you, and it doesn't seem as gimmicky as it does when it comes to music. So that, again, is a huge plus for the MA10S, and adding that with the wireless charging, that, in my opinion, again, kind of justifies that $10 price difference. Now, both of these, as far as when it comes to the accessories, you're getting the exact same thing in the box. You're getting 4 sets of silicone ear tips. You're also getting 4 sets of wing tips, and you're getting that USB-C cable. But again, the difference is on the MA10S, you don't have to use that USB-C cable. You can just use whatever wireless charger you have. Now, if you are going to use these for taking phone calls, they both, in my opinion, have similar microphones. In fact, I couldn't really tell much of a difference with one over the other, but you guys can be a judge by listening to a test here.
So here is the mic test of the Baseus MA10. Overall, I think it picks up my voice very well. It kind of adds a little bit of digital noise, but this is what it would sound like if you were to take a call. And so now here is the mic test of the Baseus MA10S, just to kind of do a comparison between the two. And essentially, I think it's the exact same microphone, because in my opinion, I feel like it sounds exactly the same. But this, again, is what it would sound like if you were to take a call.
Now, as far as the sound on these, both are using the same titanium plated composite diaphragm. And in my opinion, both of these have a fairly similar sound. They both have that punchy and clean sound. They both seem to have that Harman tuning that is going to appeal to most consumers. It's giving you that punchy bass. It's giving you a nice, brighter, clean treble that doesn't get harsh. So it's definitely an aggressive and in-your-face type sound. The mids are pushed just slightly forward, so vocalist doesn't get lost in any genres where it might be a little bit more chaotic. It's just a fun earbud to listen to. It has that really fun tuning to it. It's not trying to pull anything back or hold anything back. And when it comes to different genres, if you're switching between like pop and hip hop, it's going to be great when it comes to the low end. But if you switch to something like rock or metal where there's a lot more going on, this is a pair that definitely can keep up. It's not, getting congested or muddy because the low end is just a little too overwhelming. Again, it's just tuned extremely nice here. And then when it comes to the soundstage and the sound imaging, same thing that I said in the MA10 review. I feel like it's not the most wide open earbud. I definitely feel like it's a little bit closed in because of its dynamic tuning. But it still kind of left me feeling like I was in a medium to large size room. And then being able to tell where different sounds were coming from were never an issue with this pair. So my overall opinion is this. Both pairs are proving that you do not have to spend a whole lot of money when it comes to earbuds. Now, in my opinion, they do not compare noise canceling wise to the much more expensive pair. But when it comes to the sound quality, that's where it kind of starts to get a little interesting. I feel like this pair does compete with some much more expensive pairs. And it really shouldn't when both of these pairs usually kind of fall into a sale and they're, under $30 or under $40. I mean, we're talking about comparing these to pairs that are $250 to $300 when it comes to the audio quality. And, again, that's why I like to cover products like these. I like to cover the more expensive ones as well, but that just goes to show you, what you get in comparison to one product over the other. And Baseus so far has been one of those companies, kind of like SoundPeats and kind of like Earfun, that's just giving you a lot for your money. So I can definitely recommend either one of these if you're looking for sound quality alone. Where the differences kind of fall into place is if you're wanting just some ridiculous battery life and you need better protection when it comes to, rain and sweat and splashes and things like that, I would recommend the MA10. But if battery life isn't as important, and you would like to have wireless charging, and you also like to have spatial audio to be able to use on different types of media that aren't music, at least in my opinion, that's where I would say go with the MA10S. I definitely think the $10 price difference is justified because of those features. But if you're not going to use those features and you don't really care about that, then the MA10 is definitely the way to go. But again, in the end, I don't feel like you can go wrong with either. The only people I really wouldn't recommend these for, and again, I think I've said this in the original review, is audio purists. Anybody looking for a flat or reference sound, these just cannot get to that point. They're made to be fun to listen to. They're made to be kind of more in your face and aggressive when it comes to the low end and also with the treble. And in those categories, it definitely checks those boxes. But guys, that's my video on both the Baseus MA10 and the MA10S. Thank you so much for checking out this video. Thank you so much for checking out all the other videos. And as always, make sure to stay tuned for more.